If that bastard Cameron forced you to do anything against your will, I will kill him myself, he had announced savagely. Catherine had opened her mouth to expound on just how dreadfully she had been used and abused. Certainly the Catherine Ashbrooke of a few weeks earlier would not have hesitated to capitalise on her brother's guilt, or to use it mercilessly to win his sympathy and pity. But she could not do it. No, Damien, she said on a sigh. It is not what you think. He did not do anything to me that I did not want him to do. In fact, in the beginning, he did everything he could to avoid me. He treated me like baggage. He ignored me. He rarely spoke to me unless it was absolutely necessary. And I truly believe he would have kept his word to annul our marriage, as he had promised, and send me home as soon as he was safely through the border patrols. But Damien's hands had tightened on her shoulders, forcing her to look up into his pale blue eyes. But what? But I would not let him, she cried. I begged, I pleaded with him to let me stay in Scotland, but he would not listen. You begged? Good God. His voice had softened with disbelief. You have fallen in love with him. Catherine raised huge violet eyes to his. It was no use denying it. Hands that could not control their trembling were flung up and around her brother's shoulders, and her whole body was racked with sobs. It was not supposed to happen. I do not even know how it happened, or why it had to happen to me, but yes, oh yes, Damien, I do love him. I love him, and I hate him, and he had no right to do this to me. No right at all. Damien had been helpless to do more than hold her and soothe her as best he could. Catherine knew there was no earthly way to explain what had happened, how she and Alexander Cameron had progressed from adversaries to lovers in an apparent wink of an eye. I love him, Damien. It is a terrible, hurtful, wonderful feeling, and I do not understand how it can be all those things at the same time. But it is. Does he feel the same way? Yes, she said, a little too quickly, her voice a little too high-pitched. Yes, he does, but he is stubborn, and he does not think I would be as safe in Scotland as I would be with my family in England. There is the best bit of irony, would you not say? She laughed bitterly and accepted the handkerchief Damien offered, wiping at her streaming eyes and nose. He did not seem to care too much about my safety once he knew I had discovered he was a Jacobite spy and forced me to travel north with him as his hostage. He was rude and arrogant and he kept me so damned angry all of the time I did not have much chance to be frightened. But when I was frightened, I mean, he was always there, and somehow, when he was, I was not frightened any more. Does that make any sense at all? For you, my dear Kitty, Damien had smiled. Perfect sense. And I should have known something like this might happen. Damn it, I should have been able to see it that very first night. I had no idea you were such a romantic, brother dear, she sniffed, or that you believed in love at first sight. I am not, and I do not, but you had a look on your face that evening when Hamilton Garner confronted the pair of you out in the garden. A look that screamed at anyone who cared to listen that you had never been kissed quite like that before. I dare say it was what prompted the haughty lieutenant into challenging your bold Scotsman to a duel. Catherine experienced a flooding of colour into her cheeks. Hamilton has recovered from his wounds, I presume? He was on his feet within the week, out scouring the countryside with his entire regiment of dragoons, only to discover the mysterious Mr. Montgomery and his newly acquired bride had vanished without a trace. He was well on his way to tearing up the roads between here and London when confirmation of Prince Charles's landing in the Hebrides reached government ears. Colonel Halfyard rushed Garner's captaincy papers through and ordered his regiment north to reinforce the garrison at Edinburgh. Edinburgh? Catherine gasped. Hamilton is in Scotland?